we have our lacrimal punctum, which is this little hole right over here. That's going to be called the lacrimal punctum. We also have something here, which is going to be called the lacrimal carbuncle, which is like this little dot right here, this little ball thing, lacrimal carbuncle. This is going to be the lacrimal canaliculus. So lacrimal canaliculus. And then it goes into the lacrimal sac, goes into the tear duct. Now, some professors might call this the nasolacrimal duct, but just tear duct is also fine as well. Going up here now, going back to the eye, this is going to be called the palpebrae. And we have the lacrimal gland right here. Going inside over here, we have the levator palpebrae muscle, which is going to levitate this palpebrae muscle right over here, this palpebrae. So again, just to review it, lacrimal gland, lacrimal punctum, lacrimal carbuncle, lacrimal canaliculus, lacrimal sac, and tear duct. Okay? We have the palpebrae and the levator palpebrae muscle right over here. We're going to take this off and we're going to see what's inside of the eye. We have this thing right here. This is going to be called the conjunctiva. Conjunctiva, whenever you have pink eye, is called conjunctivitis. This basically is what gets inflamed in the eye to give you pink eye. So conjunctiva. Going over here to the eye, we have this thing right here. It's always touching this layer of the eye. This is going to be called your rectuses. So we have our superior rectus, which is below it. So don't get confused with this muscle. On top is always going to be levator palpebrae muscle. Below it, superior rectus. We have lateral rectus, and we have medial rectus, and right below it, we see the inferior rectus right over here. Okay? Taking this out now over here, we're going to see the obliques. So this is going to be the superior oblique right over here, superior oblique. And we have the inferior oblique, which is going to be like a swooping thing. So inferior oblique. Going over here, we see the optic nerve, which is going to be touching the eye like this. So let me put this back real quick. We have the optic nerve, and we have the optic chiasma. Now getting into the eye. So the thing I took out before, this is going to be called the cornea. So this is the cornea. Taking out the cornea, we get to see the sclera. The sclera is just the white portion of the eye. So all this white stuff here is the sclera. Taking the eye out of the sclera, we see the purple stuff. This is going to be called the choroid. This is the choroid. We have the iris, which makes the color of the eye, and we have the pupil. Taking this out over here, we get to see the lens of the eye, and we have this stuff right here. So this is going to be a space within the eye that contains fluid. The spaces is going to be divided between posterior, so this is the posterior chamber or posterior cavity, or anterior chamber or anterior cavity. Either one is fine, just choose whichever one you guys prefer. But the important stuff to know is what fluid is within it. So in the posterior chamber, we have something called vitreous humor. In the anterior chamber, we have aqueous humor. Okay? Going again over here, we have the retina. Inside the retina, we have this little white disc here. This is going to be called the optic disc, otherwise known as your blind spot. So this is the optic disc. Over here, very, very tiny, you can't really see it, but this is going to be called the macula lutea, which is surrounding something in the middle or in the center. That's going to be called the fovea centralis. So again, optic disc, macula lutea, and in the middle is the fovea centralis. Going over here now to this part of the eye, we see the retina, and we see this layer, which is going to be called the ciliary body. Between the retina and the ciliary body, we have a border, which is going to be called the ora serrata, right over here. So this is all the ora serrata. These little white things over here is going to be called suspensory ligaments. So these are all suspensory ligaments. So I'm going to go backwards. We have suspensory ligaments, ciliary body, ora serrata, retina, optic disc. We have macula lutea, fovea centralis. We have the posterior chamber with vitreous humor. We also have the anterior chamber with the aqueous humor. We have the lens. We have the choroid. We have the iris, the pupil, and the cornea. And then we already know this is the sclera. And that's it for that.